Hey, Crystal! She's here, she's here. Hello. Can, yes. Hey, hey. See, I told you we would work this out for you. We will make this happen today.
I know. I was like, oh, I got fired on my first day. To be here on time.
Oh man, it is so nice to see your face. Not that I don't see you like on your blog and stuff, but I haven't like seen you like moving and in color since Blog Her.
I know. It's been years. It feels like
Yes.
probably like a year and a half, 2 years.
And you know what? I almost had soup for the occasion. I don't know if you all need to go back to her archives and find out about just go to her search and type in soup and booty and see what comes up. Hot booty soup. Just type it in, see what happens.
That was a mess. A mess.
So anyway, we know that Taisha's on her way.
Yes.
So can we get started? Can we just like start asking you some questions and then she can jump in when she's ready?
Sure.
Okay. So how did you get started doing sponsored posts? How did you get into that?
Sponsored post. I honestly don't quite remember. I want to say that I joined one of those networks. I think it was like Clever Girls. And I got a post. It might have been military related. I do some that are outside military too. And they just sent me one, and that was my first time really understanding what sponsored, posts were. That was my first experience with it.
So tell us about your blog, like real quick, so that people will know what your posts are usually about, or what your thing is on your blog. I mean, they should get it. It's Army Wife 101, but yeah. I hope they get it. But if they don't, anything about your blog you'd want to tell us?
Yeah, I mean, so Army Life 101 is basically, initially I started blogging because at the time my husband was active duty military, and I was getting ready to move to Hawaii. I was in a hotel waiting to move. Is that my Facebook? Uh-oh, let me turn it down. Okay, I was getting ready to move, and pretty much I was bored. And so I created this blog just kind of documenting my experience. From there, I started discovering other blogs because I said I was doing videos, and I was like, I need a place to put these videos. And I discovered blogs and that people were doing stuff like sponsored posts and reviews and getting all these freebies and stuff. And I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, but I stuck to my niche, which was really just to share my experience with other military wives. And of course, it's progressed, and now that I've progressed, there's more that I would, I want to do, so I've branched out while still maintaining my military niche. But I talk about life in general. I talk about travel. I talk about my life, things I like to watch on TV. I talk about everything. It just happens to be called Army Life 101 because at the time, that's what I focused on.
So you have another blog, though. You do have another one, the Randomnista.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. That's kind of like what I ended up doing with Soca Mom and then Eva Loves. When there's just some stuff that you want to talk about, y'all might find hot booty soup over there. I'm not sure, but you can find it. You can see if it's over there. So tell us a little bit about that one.
That one is one that is definitely in progress. Army Life 101 takes my time, but Randomnista is exactly what you said. I talk a lot. I'm very random, and I found it very hard to stick to one niche, one specific niche. Till this day, as great as Army Wife 101 has been to me, Randomnista has allowed me to kind of step outside of that and talk about whatever I want. So if I want to talk about reality TV, if I want to talk about something I saw in Walmart or Kmart or Target or whatever it is, I can do it there, and I don't have to feel like I'm confined, and I don't feel like I'm under any restrictions. So it's very random. It's a random lifestyle blog about any and everything.
So do you do sponsored posts over there?
No, you know what? Honestly, over there, I haven't really gotten to that point yet. I haven't ever bothered to branch out as much over there. Just because Army Wife 101 it's honestly my breadwinner. It's my full-time career. I spend 10 to 12 hours a day doing it. And, it's really what it supports, 60% of my household. So I had no choice but to focus over there. I love what I do over there, but I haven't been able to really step out, branch out, and enjoy what I know I could enjoy, and get some of the opportunities stepping out of the military sector. You know what I mean?
So, and let me ask you a quick question, because I just noticed that percentage that you said. So, I mean, I don't know if you heard us talking about the Cheyenne calendar. So you're currently working on somewhere in between a mix of that, like, you know, and the regular daily calendar. Did you say 12 to 15 hours a day is what you spend on it?
I'm on anywhere from, I think I said 10 to 12. I'm on anywhere on from, I can't even talk today. I'm on anywhere from 10 to 12 hours a day. This
Okay.
week, I was up at 3 a.m. and I'm still up.
Taisha's here. Taisha's here.
Hey.
Hi. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Look at all these pretty people. I just can't stand it. I can't stand
gorgeous.
it.
I know,
can't
everybody's
stand it.
gorgeous. So, but I just have a quick question though. So, like, when you, like, the time frame that you're on the blog, what do you? I mean, how are you spending your day? I know I did a post recently, like, talking about like what bloggers do when you're not looking. So during that day, what does that day look like? I know, I'm sure they're all different, but a standard day for you.
Okay, well, one of the things that's happened because, and this will all form into your question, because of my blog, I've been offered a lot of opportunities. One of them was I just took over as VP of Marketing and Outreach for a company that hires bloggers to do things that we're talking about, like sponsored posts.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome. Congratulations.
That's amazing.
That is great. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and that I mean, that's huge for me, and we work with a lot of brands. So, like this morning, I've been up since 3 o'clock.
Ow, ouch. God,
yeah.
That hurt to hear. It hurt to hear. That made me pause.
I dozed back off at 4, and I've been up ever since. I got up at 3 for a half hour, went back to sleep at 3:30, been up ever
Chris,
since.
so you was not up since 3.
No, I was. I've been up 3. You know,
I don't believe it.
every 3. I get up
She just called bullshit again.
Okay, hold on though. Now here's the thing. I did fail to mention that they are like basically twins separated at birth. I forgot to mention that part. So there is going to be a whole lot of things happening in the next few minutes.
It's gonna be like Uno card pulling, like drop 4,
Right.
Reverse, let's
Right.
go. What else you got?
No, hold on. Reverse you, skip you, and
Draw 4.
wild.
Draw
What?
4 more.
Draw 4.
Color change to blue.
What?
Color change to
She
red.
be up at 3 o'clock because she goes to bed early.
Man, because I don't stay up and talk to her like I do, like we normally do. But I was up at 3 because somebody had actually messaged me on Facebook wanting to know about blogging. But normally I am up I go to bed, but I get up in the middle of the night and I'm up all day. And I usually, I try to plan out what I'm going to write. And then additionally, I have other freelance gigs I do. I write for She Knows too. So I plan out my schedule for that. And then the majority of my morning is spent doing work for MSB New Media, which is the company that I work for. We handle bloggers, so there's a lot of management of campaigns and stuff. And then I manage my fan page. My fan page is very, 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 very active. I post probably about 2 times a day or more. And I try not to post too much because I don't want Facebook to kick me off or anything. So I spend a lot of time doing a lot of social media. I'm not technically on Twitter all the time because I have everything going from my fan page to Twitter, but you'll see a lot of tweets from me because I'm always on Facebook. So I do a lot of that, and then it's just a lot of emails. I'm answering a lot of emails and just really planning out my blog. I'm always going through my blog, retweeting something. I always put up a From the Archives post, so all of that just really takes time, and I'm always planning out my schedule for like the following week or whatever I need to write for the following day. So it's just, hours. And on top, I have a regular life. I have 2 kids, a household, a husband, that kind of thing. So.
Now, that was the question that I had, and I'm going to start with Taisha because she just got here. But both of you guys have families, right? And you got kids and the husband, and I know you guys cook and clean and all of that other stuff. But you've got events. I mean, like, we just got Taisha from another event. Like, she was off still working. Like, she's working, and then she walked in the door and was like, she's like, I'm in the car. Okay, I'm sitting down. Okay, I'm opening up the computer. Okay, so how do you balance your family with your business, especially since, if you're home a lot, it doesn't look like people are going to expect, your husband, your kids are going to expect you to do certain things. They're not thinking mommy is really working all day. So How do you balance that? I'll start with Taisha.
Well, for me, it's hard, which is why my blog has gone down a lot because basically, I just started working from home, so I don't have as much time. But in the beginning, I would just wait until my kids went to bed and then, plan out my blog posts like that. But I'm not really good with time management, and like Crystal, she plans her posts. I don't do that. I'm not good with that. I'm just spare the moment, write, because that's how I write best instead of pre-planning. But I think that's pretty much the best thing to do is try to pre-plan. But for me, it's still kind of sporadic because of, like she said, everything that you have going on in everyday life. Especially events. I go to a lot of events and stuff, especially lately. Mm-hmm. They want you to blog about those events, and then then I gotta try to take my outfit pictures and editing pictures and stuff. That all takes so much time.
Fashion is a lot. You got outfit of the day. You got,
face of the day. Face
That's
of the
why
night.
I just try to cut back some and write about other things because that takes over so much time. Just editing pictures. If I didn't have to edit pictures, oh my God, that would cut down so much time because you want them to be a certain way so you can put them on other sites and they want you to have your pictures a certain standard, the lighting balance to be a certain way. It's really hard. And if you don't get those pictures out there, you won't get the traffic that you want either. So it takes a lot of time. So yeah, it's really, really hard. And I know my blog has suffered a lot lately, especially like the last 2 or 3 months.
So when you have the obligation of a sponsored post and they have their timeline, but then you have your family schedule, how do you fit that stuff in there? I'll go to Crystal. How do you get that to fit? How do you make that happen?
Honestly, for me, I would probably say that I have to say that I probably have taken a toll on my family somewhat, because I do not by choice, but I do tend to spend just more time blogging. But the upside is that my kids are pretty much older. They're self-sufficient. I don't have, toddlers. I have a 14-year-old who's soon to be 15, and I have a 9-year-old. And they're the kind of kids, you give them something to eat, they read their book.
Give them chicken bangers. Right out.
They don't do all that running around. We have a little routine. We good to go. So, my son has one after-school activity. I'm not so much on the go like that, and I have the whole day to myself. So when they come in, it doesn't necessarily hurt me to spend the 2 or 3 hours with them, do my dinner, and then by 7 o'clock, my daughter's 14. She don't want to sit up under me. So, by that time, we're good to go. And then at night, I have the night to myself or whatever. And, my husband has very odd work hours, too. So that helps because I'm not always having to cater, work hours. So I have a lot of time to really do it. So it's not so bad for me, but that's my specific situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard for me because my kids are, like my son, he's 14 too, but he's in basketball. My daughter, she goes to gymnastics 3 times a week. So it's just always ongoing, and she goes all year round. It never ends. At least my son, he doesn't play all year round basketball, but my daughter, she does her meets and gymnastics all the time, then helping them with homework, and then just events and everything. It's just all a lot. It really is a lot. But before, when I first started, I would just, stay up late at night and not get as much sleep, run off of 3 or 4 hours of sleep, but I was okay and I was functional, but it took a toll on me. Mm-hmm. And so that's why my blog is suffering a little bit now, but I know how to get it back up and going and everything, but I just kind of step back a little bit and just do whatever I want to do because it's my blog, so I just do what I want at my own pace.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That is absolutely true. Absolutely true.
But I know that outfit posts, just looking at, friends of mine who are fashion bloggers, it's hard, and I run late in the morning, so I can't even imagine running late, trying to put your clothes together and trying to hit the button.
Take some pictures tonight.
Right, trying to hit the button, and it's like, wait a minute, I'm late.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really, really hard.
Mm-hmm. Or unless you get to work and you're like, so who's taking pictures of me today over here at work? Thanks. Here's the camera. I need you to hit them. Come on. Come on, I need you to work with me here. What are you doing? You're like, come on lunch. You know what we're about to do today, right? You know what we're doing today,
That's
right?
what
On lunch.
people do, though. I know a lot of bloggers that do that. That say that people from their jobs, or some people do it after work, but then they find it harder in the winter to do it because it gets darker earlier. So you don't really have as much time to do it then either. So then their blog suffers because of that. So it's real hard. That's why I said I cut back some on outfit of the day and what I wore and stuff like that until when I go to events and stuff like that, and still not even then. Because like I said, I haven't taken no pictures today, just a little bit in the fitting room, but that's it.
Look, you can screenshot this because you look fabulous right now. You can be like, click.
What you say?
Look,
Get
you
it
got
in.
to multitask. Get it in.
No. Better yet, how you do it? You like while you're on the call, be like, "Hi, I'm on the Google Hangout." Click selfie. You better get that selfie in.
Oh, that's what people do.
Like, wait, photograph of the pants. Boom, and start. Get my shoes on the Hangout.
Or while I was at the event, I let somebody take a picture of me. Just as long as I get a full body shot and it's decent and clear, at least if I can just put that on Instagram, that's better than nothing.
True. But you know what? I found that I've seen a lot of bloggers lately say their Instagram campaigns have been really serious. Like, for people who...
I like it better. For me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram and Pinterest. Pinterest is really, really, really popping. Like, that is a great way to bring in traffic. And then, just starting groups or even get invited to be a part of groups, because the whole thing is you want to keep those pins coming in. So when you're not pinning, and if you're part of a group and they're pinning, that's still bringing in the numbers for you. Because you want to keep that going all the time. You can even pre-plan your pins and do them like you do scheduled posts on Facebook. Yeah.
Okay.
Never really thought about that.
I didn't know you could schedule pins. You can? I didn't even know that.
It's I think it's under Pin Booster. I have to look at it. And the only reason why I know a lot about Pinterest is because there's a group here, San Antonio Bloggers, and one of the top ladies on Pinterest, she's part of the group, and she speaks about Pinterest all the time, and she works for companies and stuff, and she promotes their businesses and bringing them in traffic and got their numbers high. So she's told us the importance of Pinterest. Don't hashtag nothing on Pinterest because it does not matter. That will not come up.
Okay.
But I was told otherwise at first. So
okay.
Hashtag, unless you can hashtag if you're gonna tweet it out. Like sometimes you can put the same stuff on Pinterest. You can make it go to Twitter too, but you can hashtag it then, but you don't have to.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask a question. I'm going to ask Crystal a question real quick. Now, you do all campaigns. Okay, well, it's your job now to organize bloggers and things like that. What is the mix of things that you guys like to see? Do you like to see, if someone pitches something to you, do you like to see Instagram? Because these days I'm getting things where they're like, just come, take a picture and put it on Instagram. If you could just be here, everywhere. Tweet, and put stuff on Instagram, we don't care. We'll pay you. That's fine. Just be here and put it on Instagram. Are you seeing there's a trend towards that, or is it still Facebook campaigns? Is it still Twitter campaigns? What is like the hottest thing right now? I know Taisha just said Pinterest is the thing, but from a business side, what is most popular with the brands right now?
You mean me doing an individual blogger, or you mean actually working on the marketing side and doing it?
Like from the marketing side, what are brands asking you for?
Instagram, and really, shockingly, I'm seeing them step away from blog posts a lot. I mean, that's part of it. It's a bigger focus on Instagram. It's a bigger focus on Facebook, but using Facebook the proper way. Facebook now, as you know, is big on hashtags. So now they really want those hashtags in there. One of the things that they're asking too, which I found weird or shocking, I guess, was that they wanted to know the bloggers that you select, are they going to have their Facebook? Are their Facebooks already linked to their Twitters? Because I guess I'm finding that some people, even though Twitter was a requirement, a lot of people weren't doing it. So they actually wanted to know that they were going to get that exposure, that Facebook was linked to that Twitter, and Facebook, they were getting that tweet too, right along with it, and hitting your audience.
What are some of the other criteria that you look for when you're selecting bloggers for campaigns?
Well, what we set out to do specifically is, I know what it was like to come in and have no clue. Like I said, when I came in, I didn't really know about the whole money-making aspect. I saw people getting the free stuff. And as I progressed and I began to see bloggers getting money, I also started noticing that it always seemed like the same bloggers.
Mm-hmm. Preach.
Sorry,
I had a moment.
Select group, and I'm just putting it out there. And so when me and this group of, women, when I was actually asked to be part of this, one of the reasons I said so was because their sole focus was, look, yeah, of course, business-wise, it is about a bottom line, let's be honest. But at the same time, we're all women and we were all bloggers. And they wanted to assure that we chose from a wide pool of people. So we choose some of the bloggers that have, they might only be getting 1,000 page views a month, which is considered somewhat small, when you're talking about posts and reviews. We've chosen that, and we went up to the highest bloggers, people who are getting upwards of, 70, 80, 90, 100,000 page views a month. So our requirements are, we try to be fair, because I know what it's like to be chosen. I know what it's like to have high page views and still not get chosen, and cannot understand why, somebody who's not even in my niche, you're doing a military-related post, but you're not a military blogger, but I have the audience that you're seeking to cater to, but because you're whatever, a bigger name, or you're in your certain group, select group or whatever, you got to do it. So because of that, I make sure to, when I have the input, to choose a wide variety, a wide pool, all nationalities. If there's males, we've had a male before. We don't have any males that sign up, but we had a male blogger, made sure that he was involved too, because you want that mixture of people, and you want that mixture of numbers, and you never know. Everybody has a different audience. I might have a bigger blog numbers-wise, but somebody else might have a bigger Twitter following or a bigger Instagram following. Everybody's got their own niche somewhere, and it's not, just, oh, your blog has to have 2 million page views a month.
Well, one of the things I heard, I would, at this event via Leanne Farbs in September during Fashion Week, and one of the PR people was talking about how you never know, and I'm just gonna keep saying this because it's so true. She was like, you never know who someone is going to grow up to be. And which means that blogger who has only that 1,000 page views a month, or maybe they only have 500 because maybe they're not blogging regularly, but you don't know who their best friend is or who their best friend could be, and next thing you know,
you see used to work for.
Exactly, but overnight you literally can see someone go from 0 to 1 million, and you see them in Times Square on a billboard, or you see them on a campaign, or you see them on Wendy Williams, and you're like, wait, what? How'd this happen? When did you come from?
What happened to me?
Exactly. And sometimes it's just because they were nice, they were personable, they didn't mind doing the right thing during the campaign, and maybe they only had 20 views or 20 likes on a campaign on Instagram, but they're like, but you're easy to work with, and you do what you do what we tell you to do, and also people listen to you. So would you make a video for us and put it up? We'll tweet it out. We just need you to create the content. Okay, well, why not? So you don't really know. So I think companies finally got hip to that. It's like we don't necessarily need the ones who are the biggest. We actually, some companies, from what I've been told, they want to get in with you at the ground level. So it's like finding an artist almost and saying, oh, you're, doing your own stuff, but we'd like to kind of help you grow, to a certain extent, because when you now have 1 million people, you'll be like, oh, this brand was loyal to me when I had nothing, or when I was on the bottom, so I'm going to continue to help them, or, wear their clothes or use their products or whatever it is. So.
Well, that and that makes a lot of sense too, because one of the things, brands have said, I've always made it very clear and well known that I'm not the best writer. I mess up grammar, I mess up punctuation. Sometimes I'm a fast thinker and I'm a fast talker, so sometimes I'm trying to get it out because I'm afraid that I'm going to not get it out, and I put it out and then I don't check it until afterwards. One of the things I've had a brand tell me is that, we really love your authenticity. We love the fact that you admit that you're not a New York Times writer. Sometimes you really write these great posts. They're trying to be like the next, Alice Walker or something. That's great. If you can write like that, that's But I found at the beginning that I was trying to do that, and then I was like, "Bump this! Like I'm me. You know, this is how I talk. I talk."
That's what they prefer.
Yeah, and that's what they prefer, and that all goes back to when you're talking about sponsored posts and sponsored content. Because at the beginning, I find I was trying to, I guess, maybe mimic other people's writing. You know, like I had to try to fit into whatever that criteria was, and then I was like, "Bump all that! I don't have time for all that because it's too much work trying to be what you're not." You know, so I was like, I'm going back to what I did, and I found, honestly, that really did work. And brands came to, they don't want their sponsored post to sound like an infomercial.
Like everybody else's. They don't want it to be like that.
I have another question. I'm a business. I'm a virtual assistant business. So if I wanted to hire a blogger to promote my virtual assistant business, what's the best way I should reach out to a blogger to promote my business?
That's a good one.
Or my brand.
And after that, we have a couple questions coming in from various and sundry places.
Oh, various and sundry places. And sundry.
And seedy places. No, I'm just kidding. Seedy places. Okay, go ahead.
We got
Sorry.
some of my relatives from Louisiana.
Who can get off the call?
Hey, cousin Terrence. Hey, cousin Terrence. I know that's him.
Oh, I can't deal.
Okay, the question was, yes, how do you find bloggers to sponsor if you're a business? How do you find them?
Well, in our particular case, we actually have a network. So we, our website is msbnewmedia.com. When we go, if you were to go there, you would see, are you a blogger? Are you a publisher? I mean, are you a publisher? Are you a brand? And so bloggers come there and they sign up, and it's very simple. Whenever we have a campaign that comes out, like most other networks, we send out an email. If you qualify, you sign up. You'll get an email. In your case, Shai, if I were a blogger, I would simply just like we were looking specifically, which we've done that too, and we only had like 5 slots open. We need specific type of bloggers. I just Google it. I Google work-at-home bloggers because I know there's a ton of those type of bloggers. There's some really good work-at-home bloggers, and I've worked from home ever since I got married. So, in my case, that's what I would do. And then
if it's a small brand or small, if they're small, they may not be able to do it like that because they probably couldn't afford it,
Yeah.
So I guess then you would just look for someone that stands out that will be a good fit or you think will be a good fit and just reach out to that person. That's how I would go about, doing it.
If it was me, and besides the network, like that's a whole different thing. But if I was, my business was about virtual assisting, I would Google work-at-home blogger, and I, would approach them individually and say, hey, this is what I'm willing, this is my budget, I'm willing to pay you this amount, and that's what I would do individually. If you were looking for 1 or 2 bloggers, that would be the way to do it.
I want those kind of people to contact me.
Yeah, the ones who are not like, my $45 million project is writing on your blog post.
Like, they pay very well.
Like, no, it's not.
No, because that other chick who just got you 2 million hits, you just wanted me, but I love you. Be like, but I love y'all.
I love you though.
I know I only got 20 likes on Instagram, but my people are loyal. But
they buy whatever I tell them about
every picture I put up.
Right, they be like, boom, boom, boom.
They be like, heart. They be loving all of my stuff.
Wait, from like 6 months ago, they'll go all the way down and like that thing.
Scroll back like every single one.
All I gotta do is tweet a good thigh picture, and then I'm gonna get like 100 likes down the rest of them. So that's all you gotta do.
I want to know who's sponsoring the thigh Instagram photos.
That's what I'm saying.
Who is that?
Shea Butter.
Yeah,
Shea Butter.
One thing I usually just promote on all networks equally. Like I just have everything linked together, and then just
now that leads to a question. That leads to a question that we got. We got a question. I want to say her name is Nairobi. I hope that's right. Her name.
She was tweeting.
Yes, and she's on Twitter at @onairobi, NAYROBI, and she wants to know what's the best way to manage Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all the other social media outlets because she's only heard of Hootsuite. So you were just in the middle of answering that question. I want to let her know that hello, and we're answering your question right now.
I used to use Hootsuite also, but that's like if you're at a computer and you can sit there and navigate on that one program, but on your phone it's not really good. So normally what I do is I just have like everything tied together. Like Instagram is linked to Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr, you know, or not Tumblr, or blog. Yeah, it is linked to Tumblr. Or Facebook is linked to Twitter. Like everything is just linked together. My blog is linked to Facebook and Twitter, so everything goes out. Like if I put a blog post out, yeah, it'll go there, but I still want to be, you know, authentic and put a picture up and make it more personable. So sometimes, you know, you still want to go and do it in a different way besides just automatic tweets, because you know that's not a live person. That's just, you know, something, because especially with Facebook, they don't even show your linked posts anymore that much now. That's why a lot of people will put in their links inside of the comments. Because
I noticed that. I was like, why is everybody doing that? Okay, I understand now.
If you put it on there the other way, like as a link back, or like just putting a blog post and that's it, and nothing else, even if you put a little bit of verbiage, it will not show that much in the feed. Only probably people who come to your page sometimes.
Right there.
Okay. But if you put it in the comments section, it will show up in their feed. I don't know why it does that, but I just been playing around with it, and I could just tell like the numbers change more.
Yeah, they were screenshotting that. I saw a couple bloggers last week screenshotting and having a huge discussion on it on Facebook. Like, well, if it's changed, then why is it that it shows that only 63 people saw it, but then I've got 200 likes on this photo? So how am I got 200 likes, weird. But it's showing me that 63 people. So okay, no, this is not right. Exactly. Something is wrong. So you know,
but they said that a really hypothetical number of it's only a third of audience coming from Facebook. They said that's good. They said that's good.
Facebook continuously plays with their algorithm to try and monetize. So it's gonna, if it stays this way for like 6 months, it's gonna change in 6 months. It's like the weather. Don't look for it to stay the same way. It used to be you could you could schedule posts from your aggregator, whether it's Hootsuite or Social Oomph or Buffer or any of those, and it would show up the same way. What they've been trying to do is get the posts with the most engagement, the most people liking them, the most people commenting on them, to come up to the top of your timeline. And so that's why you're not seeing those. That's why you're not getting the same interaction that you've been getting before.
That's true, but then it's also, if you do it the other way, like I said, those other people who don't engage normally, they will still see it. More will see it. I'm not going to say everybody will. Some people just not on Facebook that much. But yeah, you're right. The ones that are normally engaging, and it's going to always come in their feed because they're always interested in what you have to say.
Like it's almost like Facebook is learning almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, so if Reagan sees it or likes my post every day, I'm making sure that I show Reagan this post per se. So okay.
That's it.
And there goes your loyal reader. That's all that matters.
Got you.
Now, I have another question came in from Nicole. She wants to know, how do I solicit potential contributors to my blog for the person who isn't ambitious enough to create their own blog, but a subject matter expert who would help to bring followers to my brainchild? So, like, if we're to put this in a sponsorship situation, let's say that a company has come to you and you're not necessarily, you don't have time or something like that to do a sponsored post. How do you deal with those things as far as how do you pay them for it? You know, how do you find somebody to do it? If we can go to Taisha to say how do you find them, and to Crystal to say how do you pay them?
Just to make sure you're clear, so you're basically saying if a person is getting if they want someone else to do the sponsored post for them?
Exactly, yes. How would you find somebody if they say, okay, can you or one of your partners do this sponsored post for me? You don't have time. Like you are super busy and you don't have time to do it, but you don't want to lose the opportunity. How do you find somebody else to do it? And then, Crystal, how do you work out an arrangement for them to still get the shine that they should get for doing it and get paid for it?
What I do personally is, it depends on who it is. Like, say, if there's someone in the Texas area or something like that, and, you know, I would recommend them to another blogger, you know, that I know would do a great job at the sponsored post. that's what I normally do. And sometimes they even ask you, you know, is there someone you recommend anyways, you know, because I don't want to put myself out there and I'm telling them about this person and it's just not good.
Yeah.
So I just normally stay with the same people that are in the Texas area. I've never had a time where it has been outside of Texas that I've had to do that, but I pretty much would recommend to somebody that I know I can trust and that their work is great, you know, and dependable, and just going to make them look good still.
So that's where like networking comes in to make sure that you
exactly.
are meeting new people and going to local events with bloggers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that's
Crystal,
why
so
I
now
like to go, because I feel like if I'm supporting these people when they're doing their events, then I want them to do the same thing for me. Even if I don't want to go, like today I did not want to go.
Preach. Can we throw some glitter up in the air for that, because that was good.
Yeah, that was glitter, confetti.
I just want to throw some glitter and some confetti and be like, yes.
Money, like just boosh. Like
no, I'm not throwing no money, because I'm gonna have to crawl around and get that. I'm not.
If I had the money, I would throw it.
Oh, you just gonna peel them off like this, just like this.
Like, oh, I don't feel like the dress, and I don't feel like trying to be cute. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. But the person who had the event, she is a really good friend of mine here, and you know, so I just like, if that's me, I would want her to do it for me. So I just went ahead and went with it and went, even though I was stuck in traffic for 45 minutes. But
you know what? Sometimes when you end up invited to that special party or that special event, it's like, that was worth it. That's fine. I had Pandora. I'm good. So Crystal, how would you go about compensating them as far as giving them their credit and giving them their, you know, their money? Because if they're going through you, like they say you got $50 to do the post, how do you feel about compensating them and giving them their credit for it, or do they write under you? What is your ideal situation?
Well, in my case, I have contributors. Right now I have 2 contributors. I actually just sent one yesterday. Well, she just came back today. Monday morning, she went to LA for me. So that was my first experience actually really passing something that major on, because I remember like 4 years ago, like, when am I going to get invited to LA? You know, you see all these bloggers
and then you got to send somebody. That hurts.
And I told her, you know, she went there, and in that case, I passed her on the trip, and she needed to write about it. That was that. The other instance, to go with what you're talking about, I actually had this situation, I want to say 2 weeks ago. I had a post for a brand, and I really just didn't feel like doing it. Like, I had other stuff to do. So I was like, okay, this is what they're paying me. I gave her half. She's not per se a blogger. She likes to contribute. She's a contributor to my site. She writes. But everybody's not into the whole blog thing. They just want to write, you know. And in that case, I have a set pay rate of what I pay anyway. But if it's something like a sponsored post and I know I'm getting a decent amount, I automatically give half. Because either way, I done made my money off of it, because I didn't have to do anything other than, you know, I manually put it on Facebook, tweet it out. I'm not doing anything, and I'm still going to get paid from it, so why not just give them half? They did the work, you know what I mean? And in my case, this person's not a blogger, so there's really, all she wants to do is get paid anyway, so it's a win-win. So that's how I personally go about it.
I would also answer, I think it's Nairobi, by saying there's always writers who are looking to write. Just, you know, go to some of the sites that, like Odesk or freelancer.com, and look for writers who are willing to write for, you know, whatever rate you're willing to pay for.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, let's check to see if we have any more questions, because we are actually over our time. We are at 10:13. We might have to do a part 2, because good grief.
I think we do, because I got so much.
People love this. I got questions. I'm like, maybe I
like
can
it too.
ask them later or something, because this is great.
Right. But you guys are like full of information, so I appreciate both of you coming on tonight. I learned a lot. I'm like, oh, you know, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that either. Let me get myself together here.
I think we can all learn from each other, because everybody, you know, is just different. You have your strong points in different areas.
That's true.
And just, you know, the thing I was saying, that's why I said we definitely should do a part 2, because there's so much I could say on it. But definitely don't be afraid. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to work for nothing. Occasionally, when you're talking about posts, a sponsored post, it's okay to do 1 or 2 free posts, because that 1 or 2 free posts you might do, in my case, has gotten me a lot of paid work.
Talk about it. Preach
You gotta
again.
start somewhere. You gotta
I
start
need
from
to
the
get me a
bottom.
bag of glitter for this next one.
She said
Be
bag
throwing
of
glitter.
glitter.
I'm telling you, I'll be throwing glitter up in the air for this next one.
I'm gonna just really quickly before we go give you an example, and I have to say this because this was a perfect example. A few weeks ago, I did a post for one of the local visitors and convention bureaus about 2 hours from my house. It's on the beach. They were like, oh, we have a contest. It's for military. Could you write about it? And I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, because I needed something to write that day anyway. I was having writer's block. Wrote about it. Weeks passed. I was like, oh, my friend's birthday's this weekend. And she had said, oh, I want to go here. I said, okay. I wrote that person, hi, remember me? Remember that free post I did for you? I'm
Talk about it.
I'm heading away this weekend. Think we could work something out. Of course, it was written more professionally than that. But within a few days, we had a $400 night suite on the beach.
No, I saw those pictures.
Yes.
That was a bad spot. I mean, they were sitting up there really
It
doing a
was
girls'
nice.
Okay.
They were doing a girls' weekend.
I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody getting cut on the hangout.
The shade. The shade.
Coming down. I knew it. It's coming down.
But my point is saying that it's not to boast, but people like numbers. I'm big on like telling you what I got, and I'm fair to say that sometimes I know there's a big it's taboo in the military world. Oh, don't work for free, and I'm a big agreeer that do not work for free. But occasionally, that little free post that you do, I'm telling you,
my free stuff gave me a lot of different opportunities. You start there, but it's not gonna always stay the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's chicken. That's good chicken right there.
Yeah.
He said you start there, but it's not always gonna stay the same. I like that.
It's not. Yeah.
Wow. Well, ladies.
Blogging world.
Oh my gosh! Thank you guys so much for coming and staying late.
Thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so when we give you that call for part 2, don't play now. Don't be like, oh, I got another 10,000 followers. I can't mess with you. I'm like,
That's Crystal over there, big timing it up.
Oh, here we go. It's going down. It's going down.
Machete's at 2 o'clock. Machete's at 2 o'clock. It's about to get cut.
Porch light.
So hopefully next time we'll get to have Tanisha on with us. She has a whole ton of information. So we might have to get you guys for the whole hour. We're gonna have to schedule that so we can get you from 9 o'clock and just keep you.
Wednesdays are normally harder for me because I don't know why. For some reason, it seems like every Wednesday I have an event.
Okay.
Well, we may have to do a special
Wednesdays
edition
because my daughter don't have gymnastics, so it works.
Well, we're going to work out something. You let us know, because there's some, and Crystal, you let us know, too. But I know y'all talk every, day or something. So
all the time. She'll be all right. We'll be there. You just let me know when. I'll be back.
Yeah, y'all work that out and let us know, when we need to hit that special edition.
And you might want to do it earlier, Eve, because Crystal, she go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Ooh, I knew it was coming.
Here we go.
Crystal got on her house shoes.
I'm going to call her out. I was like, yeah, right, Crystal ain't going to be well.
No, see, what I need is to play the video, because you were up late for a party. And because hold on, there was one person who was laid out and was like, I'm tired, I'm ready to go, my feet hurt. And another person was like, I need a video of me doing this dance right here. So make sure you get, okay, so I'm not even going to go ahead and, I'm not going to co-sign.
We need y'all to keep that behind the vault.
Luckily, I cannot find it, but there is proof that somebody was like, I'm going to bed, and somebody else was like, I'm about to do this 2-step right now.
And she got it.
She She was getting it. So.
Much juice. I would
say we got it. I'm going to find it, because I know you got it. I'm going to share it.
Oh, Lord.
Lord, there's threats flying on the hangout.
Lord.
Threats flying on the hangout.
Jesus.
Well, ladies, there probably will be some more questions coming in, and, we'll tweet them out if you guys have time to answer them. Hopefully you can do that. If not, they need to tune in and check us out the next time. Thank you guys so much for coming, and we'll see you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.